Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels. A very special thanks to all our sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Hi, I'm Monica Weitzel, your host for MetroEast weekly talk show about local nonprofits, Community Hotline. Tonight's show begins with East Wind Running and Endurance. Find out how you and your family can combine fun with fitness through activities for all levels. Then we'll talk with a woman who runs the Backpack Buddies program at Snowcap Community Charities. Snowcap does so much to alleviate hunger and poverty in our community, but this lesser-known program manages an often forgotten aspect. And to close the show, we'll tell you about a fun and educational nonprofit that your kids might really enjoy. Seriously, what kid doesn't love Legos or robots? I'm talking about the Oregon Robotics Tournament Outreach Program. Their big annual competition is coming up, and it's the perfect opportunity to check them out. There's a great variety of wonderful work going on in your own community. Get the details and find out how you can get involved coming up next on Community Hotline. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to start out tonight talking with East Wind Running and Endurance Club. And here to represent the club, we have Mike Strobel and Claudia Peterson. Are you both board members, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, and runners.
Yes.
So it's really a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you.
I heard about your organization from Kelsey Boyd, who is one of our board members here, and she, just always has great things to say about it. So tell me a little bit about how East Wind got started and a little bit about the history, if you could.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
The organization started off as East Wind Endurance Club, and it was really more focused, and this is around 2010 or 11, more focused on more of the elite athletes, the triathlons, some of the real endurance events.
The Ironman stuff.
And yeah, exactly. And with that, the membership was probably a few dozen people. It never really kind of grew. It was there for the community, but never really started catching on. And so we were looking at it starting maybe 2014, 15 on how we can improve the membership, how we can make this more accessible to folks. Because I think what we offer is something that a lot of folks in this community really want. And it's a group to exercise with, to run, to do other things with, opportunities to socialize.
Right. So it's not just working out.
It's not just working out. Yeah. There's many aspects to it. And so with that, we started looking at ways we could really get the word out there. And so we hit social media really heavily with Facebook and other ways of advertising. And we also realized that to attract people, you have to offer things for them, not just running events, but you have to really have activities and things that appeal to a wide spectrum of people.
So you weren't just targeting the elite athlete anymore.
Not at all.
You were trying to broaden that
Not
scope.
at all. We were looking at trying to be something for everybody. And so the nice thing about our club is it just kept growing and growing after we started offering opportunities for people, different events, different activities, daily events, daily runs, daily other activities for folks to do. And the nice thing about that is it just kept growing and growing till now we have over 200 members.
Wow.
And we have over 1,000 people on Facebook, and it just keeps growing every year. It's really
huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's been very successful, and I think it's because of our focus on that we are here for everybody. Nobody ever is left behind, no matter your walker, runner.
Literally nobody's left behind.
Is that somebody will always stay with somebody, especially because one of the things we do every day is we have a 4 a.m. and a 5 a.m. run, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5. But the 4 a.m. is every day.
Wow.
And then on weekends we have 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning on weekends. And that group is like 12 to 15 people at 4 a.m. in the morning. So we call ourselves the zombies because we're out running the roads here in Gresham and stuff. But it's
that's really.
But again, it's if people show up to it that maybe are injured or walking, or if they run at different paces, it's all fine. We never leave anybody behind. Somebody's always going to stay with somebody, not just for safety, but because it's a social activity as well.
Well, that's great. So people can walk too.
Yes.
For those of us who would prefer to walk rather than run.
Yes.
At most of our events, we have a route, a known route that we've posted, and the runners will go, and of course you find people that are running your own pace, and then the walkers will have a route, and we all usually, Saturday mornings is a big social event. We'll have the run, walk, and then we always meet at a place where we can have breakfast afterwards. So we'll get 20 people staying for breakfast, and then it's a chance for us to catch up.
And then you get to know, the runners get to know the walkers, and everybody gets to know each other.
Everybody knows each other, and so there's a huge social aspect, I would say, to our club.
Very much so.
And we really promote whatever it is anybody wants to do. If their goal is to run a 5K, then it's pretty amazing how people rally around that.
Oh, I bet. There's a really great support for that.
Don't focus on, oh gosh, we're just going to rally around the really fast people. We're just going to rally around the people that are doing something unusual. Anybody says, I just ran my first 10K, and they'll get like
the kudos are amazing. Yes.
I walked 6 blocks today.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So it's really, and I think in doing so, people start to set goals then. They see, I did that and it was okay, and I had all this support, and so now I want to try something else, and I know I've got this whole group behind me.
See, that's great, because that's the thing that I think most people get hung up on when they set their New Year's goals. I want to do this, and then if there's nobody there to support them or to do it with, then it's very hard to keep going. You're always your own worst enemy. It's like, oh, I didn't do it today, or I only did half of what I should have done, and shoulda, woulda, couldas. And I think that
there's two things on that. There's one is that there's the accountability. If there's a group that you're a part of, there's that accountability aspect where you feel obligated almost to go.
Like, where were you yesterday?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not a guilt thing, but it really is that it's an inclusion thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that social aspect of it, and I think that's really important too. One of the things I do want to emphasize, though, is we're not just running club, and we also have other activities. We have swims, we have cycling on sometimes during the summer, but on weekends we'll have cycling, bicycling trips together. There's people that do trail running, people that do trail hiking.
Wow.
We had one lady this summer that did the whole Oregon part of the Pacific Crest Trail. I mean, we have a wide variety of activities, and again, the nice thing about it is, in many ways, it's kind of like a family. No matter what anybody does, everybody's right there to cheer them on. It's really neat about that.
That's great. So how is this organized then? Is there somebody who's in charge of events for the weekend, or somebody that is in charge of the daily stuff? How do you divvy up that?
All of that.
Yes.
I mean, we have people that have taken, I guess, mostly board members, but not always. We have people that lead the 5 a.m. runs, somebody that does that, the 4 o'clock runs, the Saturday morning runs. There's somebody else that organizes that Sunday morning. And then anyone is free to post on our Facebook site, hey, I want to do this 10-mile run on Saturday morning. Who wants to go with me?
Oh, great.
Or is there anybody that wants to go with me?
And there always is.
And there always is. And so then that little group will go, and anyone can join.
That's great. It sounds like it's pretty organized. So overall, that as far as the planned runs,
there's a structure to that.
Or events, that it's pretty
there's a structure. Like on the Saturday and Sunday runs. Saturday we change the route every Saturday to a different route, either in Gresham, Troutdale, this area. Usually a 3 to 5 mile, sometimes a 6 mile route. But we'll post that, and then on Wednesday so people know ahead of time what the route is and where to meet.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there's breakfast afterwards. They want to stay. Sunday, we typically run at Powell Butte. There's a trail there, so we call it the trail run on Sunday.
Okay.
But again, we post that on Wednesdays. And then the other runs, we will usually post the night before. We'll say we're going to meet at this location. We're going to run this route, so that people at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., there's a Wednesday morning at 9:30 run down in Fairview. So we always have that post ahead of time so folks know where to go.
Right. Oh, that sounds great. So how do you, or what kind of funding do you have, or do you need a lot of funding for this? Is it a membership program? I mean, we can't say prices on the air, but is it a membership thing where people pay a membership fee?
We have a nominal fee to join for the year.
Okay.
And with that, you get, we have somebody on the board that works with other organizations, other races, or athletic stores where we get a discount, perhaps,
nice.
or a discount on a race. And so that's one of the benefits of being a paid member. Anybody can join our runs. They don't have to be a paid member. It could be a Facebook member or somebody that said, I don't know anything about this group. I just want to come and check it out.
Well, and what a great way to check it out, to be able to just come
that's a great thing.
That's nice.
A few years ago, though, the board did decide we wanted to take on more of a community partnership. And so we have a high school scholarship that we give out.
Nice.
We give out 2 scholarships, one for $2,500 and one for $2,000.
Those are nice. And this is for a high school senior?
It is for a high school senior that's going on to either, that's going on to
whatever school.
Yeah, whatever school.
It's not restricted.
And it's all the East County schools because we do. So it's all of Gresham, some of the East County, Sandy, Corbett, Estacada.
Wow,
so it involves kind of what we call the whole East County area.
So any of them can apply for the scholarship?
Yes, they can.
And then it's an academic scholarship, or is it people that are runners? What is there?
Yeah, a lot of the sports scholarship, that's what people think is that it's probably this highly competitive sports scholarship, but it's really, we have a couple questions, and it's really about how has physical activity impacted your life.
Right.
And we hear some incredible stories.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
And we also have a number of other activities that we do to help motivate folks. That we call
that's important because
well, it's a way to get rewarded for some of the things you do. We have one program called the STAR program, which is, if you record the number of miles, either you run, bike, swim, walk, each month you can move up levels from so 1 star up to 10 stars. And so we track that each month. We have what we call the 1200 Club. So if you run 1200 miles in a year or walk 1200 miles, so roughly 100 miles a month, you can get a jacket for that.
Wow.
We have necklaces, different charms on necklaces. We have in a 30-day period, if you run 100 miles or 200 miles or 300 miles, or cycle or swim, there's different awards you can get.
Wow.
And these are free.
Oh, that's
we
great.
do that just to, again,
motivate people.
Sometimes it's interesting how much effort they'll put into it for something that's representative of that accomplishment, and that's really important.
Well, yeah, they're proud of that. I mean, if you've reached a personal goal, that's a huge thing, and to be able to display it is pretty nice.
Right.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of being a runner with Eastwind? Or is running what you do, or do you do other things?
I do some other things. But it was, when I started with Eastwind, I had just decided I wanted to start running. And so I kind of watched them on Facebook for a little while, thinking about, okay, so I think I can keep up with them. And the second I started running with them, people, oh, what can we help you with? Oh, do you need this with your bike? Oh, you need this. And I thought, wow, these people are these for real?
Why did I wait so long, right?
Yeah, but it's honestly, I have to say, it's the way that is with every member of Eastwind that I've met. It's an amazing group.
How great is that?
Almost all the people that join say, wow, what can I help you with?
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
I'm injured. I'm gonna be walking today. Oh, that's okay. I'll walk with you today.
Oh, that's great.
So
back to the running for a minute. You said something about races. Do you register as a group, or do you sponsor?
Yeah, both those things. Yeah, we do have groups that go into like the Hood to Coast Relay, the Wild Rogue Relay. the different marathons, different races. We'll do that. In fact, at the Revel Mount Hood Marathon, it was interesting that we all had East Wind logos on our shirts and stuff, and so you feel part of a group, part of a club. But we also sponsor races too. We have, and Claudia can tell me more about the Resolution Relay every New Year's. We have that. We have, we're sponsors. We are the race directors for the Boring Marathon, and then we have a summer running.
Later in the year, right?
Yeah, that's in September.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, we have the Summer Running Series, which every Wednesday evening we have running as well. So we sponsor different events, different races like that, and gives people an opportunity then to challenge themselves, to work up to an 8K, a 10K, half marathon or a marathon. So.
And at the same time, you're getting healthy and keeping fit and enjoying and meeting people
and having fun
and serving the community. So
yeah, there's almost nothing else to ask for.
Seems like kind of a win-win-win-win.
It really is, and the social part of it is really important. I mean, a lot of times we'll stay afterwards and socialize with each other, but it is. I don't know if I can emphasize this enough. It really is sort of an extended family.
It sounds like it.
I mean,
it feels like it.
We not only run with each other, but we also, message, text each other in the evenings where we laugh. I mean, it's. I don't think there's a single run I've gone on with the group that I haven't just laughed the whole time and just had fun.
That sounds
It's hard
great.
to believe when you're running, I know, but it's true. I mean, there's such a social aspect of it that makes it very rewarding to be there. In fact, you feel like you're missing out if you're not at the run.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Well, I know each other's birthdays and their
Oh yeah, we celebrate those too.
Well, we are out of time, but I really appreciate you both coming on. It sounds like such a great organization. So
it is a great organization.
And everybody's welcome to be there.
And we welcome everyone.
Wonderful. Well, you two are pretty nice. I could see how if everybody was like you, it would be a pretty good deal. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching this first segment. If you are an aspiring runner or swimmer or walker, any of those, do check out Eastwind. Sounds like a great place to make some new friends and get fit at the same time. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Community Hotline.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels. A very special thanks to all our sponsors who help make our programming possible.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
It is so important for me to have the right, be able to speak what I want to speak and talk about what I want to talk about.
If you start shutting this person up and shutting that person up and shutting this person up, that's not America.
I feel like everybody loves music. And for kids like us in Rockwood to have something like this, like the tools that you guys provide for us, I feel like it's really important because we can get our, our story out. We can tell about what we're going through in these streets and stuff.
Hi, I'm Multnomah County Commissioner Lori Stegman, representing East County. Tune into Community Hotline Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and you'll find out about local organizations making a positive difference in your world.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And thanks for staying with us, because now we're going to be talking with Jeannie Clean, who started the Snowcap's Backpack Buddies program. If you are from East County or have been out here at all, you know about Snowcap Community Charities, a very well-known and highly respected organization. But Jeannie, you started something else there. It's great to have you here. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
So the Backpack Buddies program is something you did start, that correct? I mean, this is something that was your idea.
Yes.
So tell me how this came about. I know Snowcap provides food and other kinds of assistance to people who are struggling in the community. What does this program do, and how did you start it?
Well, it got started because on a business trip, I sat by a woman from the Hawaii Food Bank who had been to Kansas to find out about Backpack Buddies.
Oh.
I had lots of questions for her. I was particularly interested because I knew that in Oregon, 1 in 5 children live in food unstable households.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a very high number.
Isn't it?
It's hard to imagine that you go to a classroom that has, 30 kids and 6 of those kids have,
In fact, I told one group that number, and one of the men said, "I don't believe you."
Oh, really?
Because it is. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I was thinking about this, and a teacher shared with me that a second grader in her classroom said, "It wasn't my turn to eat dinner last night."
Oh, my goodness. It wasn't his turn to eat dinner?
Yes. Can you imagine saying, "You eat, you don't. Gee, I need to eat sometime or I won't be here for you"?
Oh, wow. Having to choose which of your children gets to eat that meal, or...
Yes.
No, that's something nobody should have to.
Can you imagine as a child, gee, will I have dinner tonight or not?
Yeah, and having to go to school on an empty stomach.
Exactly.
And that's really hard for kids to be able to concentrate. And you wonder why sometimes it's hard for kids to stay focused. I mean, if you have no food in your belly, that's pretty tough to do.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That's
so
really
I
sad.
went to Judy Alley, who was at that time executive director of Snowcap.
Yes.
Mostly to find out how I needed to do it correctly.
Okay.
Well, she was ready to start right then.
I bet she was.
Wait, I don't have the funding. But we have worked it out that Snowcap purchases the food from Oregon Food Bank, and they're a wholesaler if need be. And Jeremy Walebski, who's the Snowcap warehouse manager,
Jeremy.
is very good about watching for the best price to purchase the items that we need.
Yeah, yeah. So because they've been involved with Oregon Food Bank for so long and buy their food there, they can get a lot of food at a very low cost.
Yes, it is available to them. They also, Snowcap also stores the food. And you would not believe the rules for storing a can of beans.
Are they? Is it like FDA rules and that kind of thing?
Yes, and they must be so far off the ground, so far from the wall. So they store it, and twice a month set up an assembly line, and I organized the volunteers to come in and assemble the bags.
Okay, and then what do you do with the bags? Then you come in twice a month, assemble the bags, and these are just bags of food,
Yes,
right?
and one week we send home this collection of food.
So here we have...
it's 2 packages of macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
It is 2 cans of tuna.
Some
can of fruit.
Okay.
2 juice
boxes.
containers, juice boxes, that's the word, and 1 of milk that doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Oh, and you also have
and then 2 snacks.
A granola bar and some fruit
2
snacks.
healthy snacks.
Oh, okay. So then what happens? Walk me through this. Yeah.
And just real quick, then the alternate week we do peanut butter and ravioli or chili.
Okay.
So there's some variety in the protein that they get.
But it's all something that's got protein and it's got other elements of things that you need. So then what happens?
Well, then I went to my church, Gresham United Methodist, and they said, yes, we would like to start this program. And several generous individuals wrote sufficient checks
to help supplement the food.
Started.
So do they give the money to Snowcap, and the Snowcap
Yes, we
buys the food?
reimburse Snowcap for the cost of the food.
Okay.
The sponsors reimburse them.
And the sponsors being the church, and is there more than just your church that's involved with it?
There is. Our church started with 20 kids at what was then Lynchwood School for a pilot project.
Okay.
I went to Richard Black, who was the counselor there, and he said, Jeannie, I'm inundated, but how could I tell you no? So the teachers and the counselors select the children.
Okay, the ones they know are in need.
The pilot project worked out well, and we now sponsor 50 children at the school that's now called Paul Butte.
Okay.
Then a member of our church told a neighbor, and that neighbor got her church, Faith Methodist, involved.
Good deal.
And they sponsored Sweetbriar.
Oh.
Since then, they have expanded to sponsor Troutdale Elementary with the help of Columbia Gorge Kiwanis Group, Cherry Park Presbyterian, and Rivers Life, I'm not saying that right, Lutheran Church.
Wow. So one person tells one and somebody tells somebody else.
Yes, it's really interesting.
Yeah,
yes.
That's great.
Then I shared my enthusiasm with a friend over lunch, and she got Savage Memorial Presbyterian involved. They sponsor Mill Park, and Gethsemane Lutheran now helps them sponsor 70 kids at that school. Then we started Hollydale with some local
this has grown a lot. How long ago was this?
This was 2010.
Oh, wow.
So we're
in 10 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, you've grown a lot.
And then a volunteer at Snowcap who was a staff member at Wilkes asked if we could start there. And we still don't have a sponsor.
So you could use a sponsor.
We could use a sponsor. In the meantime, we're patching together with individual consultations. Checks go to Snowcap with Backpack Buddies and the memo line.
So if you want to help a child who doesn't have food to eat on the weekend or doesn't have sufficient food to eat on the weekend, and these just go home on the weekends, right? When they don't have access to the school programs.
Exactly.
Then you, if you're like a nonprofit organization, like a Kiwanis Club or a Rotary Club or Elks Club, something like that. Any of those could step forward and sponsor, or a church. Any of the churches in the area could help sponsor, or individuals. I imagine, if you've got enough in your checkbook and want to sponsor a school, or just help out. Just help out. Yeah. Every little bit helps, right?
Yes.
Because $25 buys a lot of food at the food bank.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I remember them telling me $1 will buy 20 pounds of food, which is sort of amazing, but they're able to do that. So
we're
that's
able to
really
do it
great
very
program.
economically.
So so you get the food together, and then who gets it to the schools?
Volunteers. Some schools Thursday, some Friday. take the bags to the schools to be distributed. Wow. The kids' reaction is exciting.
Oh, I bet it's just...
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I certainly don't require it, but they come in so excited.
Well, gosh, think about it. I mean, think about it.
Yes.
You know, if you were hungry and somebody just gave you some food, I'd be like, yeah, thank you very much. And that's great. That's great.
One kindergartner, her first time, came dashing in. Thank you, thank you. And she drew herself up and said, now I get to help prepare the food for the weekend.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet.
Another of my fun stories is we worked real hard to keep it confidential.
Yeah.
I put it in different colored bags. And near the beginning of the program, I walked into the school, and there were a group of 9-year-old girls near the door. And one girl, I'm a backpack buddy.
Really? There was no shame there, was there?
And it almost became a club. It was something they belonged to.
Really? Oh, you're a buddy too?
Yes.
Oh, that's so great.
It was interesting and gratifying.
Yeah, that's nice, because I know that there has, in the past, there has been some stigma attached to people that had the reduced or free lunches, you know, and others that didn't, although a lot of the schools now are just eliminating the cost for anybody, so that it can't be a stigma, which is probably a really good idea. But, you know, the fact that the kids are cool with it, you know, that's pretty neat.
That was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Another story that means a lot to me is a 6th grade boy said one day, who pays for this stuff? And I said, people in the community. And he thought a minute. My father says no one cares about us. Oh. He's wrong, isn't he?
That makes me want to cry.
Yes.
Yes,
you
he's
never
wrong.
know what little thing will break the generational cycle.
Yeah, because if you grow up thinking that nobody cares, you'll end up being somebody who doesn't care, right? Because you don't want to be different than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's amazing.
The results have been very gratifying.
Yeah.
The paychecks of the heart are wonderful.
You know, I helped put on a sports camp one summer for this nonprofit, and we asked the kids, instead of paying to be part of the camp, to bring food for the Oregon Food Bank and just bring a can of food. And so they did. I remember one kid saying, well, you know, who's this food going to? And I said, it's going to kids in your community. You know, some kids that, you know, get up in the morning, they don't have enough food for breakfast, or they don't have dinner. And he goes, oh, there's nobody around here that's like that. I said, oh, yes, there are, and they probably live right down the street from you. They may be living next door. You don't know.
Yes.
You don't know who the, you know.
One of the schools I was asked to start a Backpack Buddy program, the person gave me the address, and I thought, I have a client on that street. She lives in a great big house. But I agreed to go meet. And driving down the street, big house, big house, big house. Oh my goodness. Many small apartments. And 84% of the kids at that school qualify for free and low-cost lunch.
It's very common. I mean, it's the majority of the kids out here. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I mean, and kids, they don't have any control over that. So
exactly.
You know,
exactly. Yeah. They don't have the choices.
So the fact that you're able to tell them that it's a community and pass it on to let them know that somebody cares, hopefully that'll plant a seed to them that someday they can pay that back. They can pay it forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's,
so
you know, that's what
you. But they're not hungry this weekend.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Jeannie. I love that. Is there anything else that we should know? Are you looking for more volunteers to help, you know, fill the backpacks or to deliver or anything else?
We could use volunteers on Friday to deliver to Powell Butte. We could use volunteers. Right now, we're pretty well booked for the spring, but come next year, we'll want more volunteers for packing.
And you certainly could use any donations, and
yes.
And if anybody wants to sponsor, then that would be. I hope that somebody out there, you know, sees this and says, "I'm with a group that might want to do that," and you know, that'd
be great.
You know, and it's past the holiday season, but you know, there's a need all year long, so you don't have to wait for this to be your Christmas project. This could be your New Year's project to take your organization and support something like Backpack Buddies.
Yes.
So.
Because once we start it, we certainly don't want to have to say, we can't serve you.
And the need is not going away, it's not going down, it's growing, so yeah.
The need is there,
Yeah.
it's growing.
Thank you so much for the work that you've been doing. That's a really wonderful program, and I'm really happy to be able to talk about it here on the show tonight. And we're out of time, but we'll see if we can get some more help for you, and you just keep doing it.
Thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. We have one more coming up, so please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels. A very special thanks to all our sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Hi, I'm Multnomah County Commissioner Lori Stegman, representing East County. Tune into Community Hotline Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and you'll find out about local organizations making a positive difference in your world.
MetroEast plays a vital role in strengthening community life by helping nonprofit organizations share their story. One major opportunity we offer is Community Hotline, our weekly talk show that highlights the stories of our community's nonprofit organizations.
We've had a lot of people call Ride Connection because they've seen us on Community Hotline.
We can reach people that I've never thought about reaching out to.
We can get that word out to a broad audience quickly.
The list of causes and nonprofits that we support is really incredible.
Do you know a nonprofit you'd like to see on Community Hotline? We'd love to have them on the show. Give us a call. Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. Thanks for staying with us for our last segment tonight on the show. And now we're going to be talking with an organization called Oregon Robotics Tournament and Outreach Program, or ORTOP, as it's more commonly known. And here to represent ORTOP, we have David Perry, who is the Executive Director. Thanks for being here, David.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. So I first heard about ORTOP, I think, in one of our meetings with the East County Steam Partnership.
Yeah, the East Metro Steam Hub.
Yeah, East Metro. Thank you, East Metro Steam Partnership. So MetroEast is involved with that organization and helping to promote STEM and STEAM projects and learning in the community, and that's where I first heard about ORTOP, and then I happened to meet Dominic, who I've known for several years, and he's your outreach and volunteer director. Learned a little bit more about it, and so now I'm very excited that you have a big event coming up that I'm going to attend, and I'd love our viewers to find out more about it. But first, if you don't mind, David, if you could tell us a little bit about how ORTOP got started and what the history is.
Sure, absolutely. ORTOP's been running programs here in Oregon since 2001, so we are getting close to our 20th anniversary coming up.
That's a long time.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's grown significantly since then. We are the partner with a national organization called FIRST. So we run programs that get kids excited about being involved in science, technology, engineering, and math, and all the way from kindergarten through 12th grade and all across the state of Oregon.
Oh, so it's across the state. I didn't realize it was statewide.
Yeah.
Wow. So how many kids are involved? Do you have a count on that?
We've got about 7,000 students that we're reaching every year. There's about
in what area?
That's across all the age groups.
I mean,
about
you're not talking just Oregon.
That's just Oregon. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about
That's huge.
It's about 1.2% of all the students in Oregon.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, and we're hoping to grow. We want to make the program available to every student in Oregon that is interested in it. So that's,
so how accessible is it for kids?
What's with many things, it's where you live, and that's really what we're trying to change. We want to make sure that every student has the ability to participate in this program, regardless of what zip code they're born in.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a challenge. It's harder to access the program if you are in a very rural community or a community with less resources. So that's where our organization steps in, and we try to balance that a little bit.
So that's one of your big goals, it sounds like, or one of the biggest goals is to try to make that accessible to everyone. So how does this program work then? Tell me how just sort of how it's set up.
The best way to think about it is youth sports. A lot of times people will call FIRST the sport of the mind, and the robots are in some ways the athletes, but really it is about the students. The students are the ones who are building the robots, putting them together, designing them, programming them. There are adult mentors or coaches that provide guidance and help them out. A lot of those mentors are working engineers, so it gives the students career mentorship, role models that they can look up to.
Exposure to a career they may never have thought about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so is it like a weekly thing kids go to or a monthly meeting, or how does that work?
Every team has their own structure, and we do have a competition season. So as you mentioned, we've got a big event coming up, and that'll be the end of the season here in Oregon. But they may meet weekly for a few months or bi-weekly. Some teams meet quite a bit.
So if it's easy enough for everybody to get there and they want to, then they kind of make those rules themselves.
That's right. Yeah, some teams are at schools and they work within an after-school program. Some teams are out of somebody's garage, and it's a bunch of neighborhood kids that get together and work after school on their own.
But it's all under the umbrella of ORTOP?
In Oregon, yeah. So, and what we do is implement the national program. So all around the world, there's, in I think about 114 countries, all over the world, there are kids that are doing the exact same competition.
Wow.
And they'll, the best of the best from every area will get together and eventually meet up in the World Championships in Houston.
Do you have national championships first, and then you can go on to world?
It goes right from Oregon to the
world. Wow.
Yeah, right from Oregon to the world.
But it's in Houston this year.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
So does every state send somebody there?
Just about, yep. Yep. Every different territory around the U.S. has programs like WordTop.
Fascinating. So if somebody wanted to start their own program, could they just contact ORTOP and tell me what to do to start this, because I've got a dozen or half a dozen kids interested?
Yeah, absolutely. And we run workshops for people who are interested in coaching or mentoring, so that we try to make it as easy as possible. And some people come in and they love kids, but they may not feel comfortable with the technical side, and we help get over that. And then some people love the technical side, and
they hate kids.
Hopefully, they don't hate kids, but maybe they are you less comfortable with coaching. And
so you
how
get
do
those two together, maybe, and
we try to work it out.
You use your strengths, you use yours, and we'll get it together, and it'll be good.
Yep.
So if say somebody wanted to do that, then how would their group be funded? As far as do the kids have to provide some money to help pay for the supplies for the robotics? And
sure, a lot of teams do a lot of their own fundraising.
Okay.
And certainly as they get older, and the high school programs are that's much more part of it. They run like a small business in a lot of ways, and they'll have students that focus on fundraising and budgeting and managing and marketing even.
I was going to say some marketing involved there too. Yeah. Well, which is learning some wonderful life skills and some possible career skills as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are awards for those categories as well,
really?
judged awards.
I like that.
But really, a lot of what my organization does is we work with a lot of our sponsors who see the value in the program. They at this point now, a lot of our sponsors have alumni that are working for them, and they know the impact that the program has.
Right.
And they will support the program, and we will use their funds to support teams that don't have the fundraising capability.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the ways that we're expanding our reach.
Well, I noticed that the championship is Intel Oregon first, so Intel must be one of your big sponsors then.
Intel has been with us since 2001.
They're setting up their future employees, aren't they?
Yes, well, they're current at this point. Yeah, they have many alumni that work for them. Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes, and we're starting to have our alumni now serve on our board. And,
see, that's great.
I think more than half of alumni still are involved as mentors and volunteers.
Yeah, it was interesting. The last guest here on Community Hotline said, "Hey, my son was involved in that program." So that's really cool. So so during the year, I mean, is there a certain time that they're not involved in the robotics, or can they work on it all year long, and then there's a championship?
Sure. I mean, a lot of teams do stay active year-round. Some of the high school groups even do trips overseas to do outreach work. But primarily we launch in about August and then compete through April is when the World Championships are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the event that's going on 18th and 19th in Hillsborough, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
That is the Intel Oregon State Championship for one of the programs that we run called First Lego League. That's for students that are in about 4th through 8th grade. And in First Lego League, the students will build a robot like this one here that I brought.
So this is a robot?
Yes.
This is not just a Lego
correct, yeah.
vehicle.
Yep. And this is a replica of a robot that was built by one of our World Championship teams, the Gears, a group of girls back in 2017.
Girls, yes.
Yep, that won here in Oregon and then went on to the World Championships in Houston.
Wow. Are the championships always in Houston?
They happened for several years. For a while they were Detroit, but mostly it's Houston.
Okay. They're usually in the United States, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is this Lego. This is an actual robot.
Right.
Does it move? I mean,
this one does not.
Okay.
It is not. It doesn't have a program.
Because this is a replica.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
okay.
We asked them to rebuild it for situations just like this.
Love it.
We wanted to show what a real robot would look like. And this is just a part of it. They would have all sorts of attachments that can be put on and taken off. Yep. The robot has what you could call an obstacle course. It's It's on a big 8-foot table, and there's different challenges that it has to complete. It's got to go around and move things and lift things, deliver things here and there, and they only have 2.5 minutes for the robot to score as many points as they can.
Wow.
The robot is entirely autonomous. There's no controller that they're driving it with. They have to program it all themselves, and
that's pretty impressive.
Build all the it's a very impressive group of kids that are working on this. And alongside the robot, they're also going to visit judge panels where they have to present a research project that they did and come up with an innovative solution to a community problem.
Really?
And they're judged on teamwork and design and programming.
So they're learning a lot of things that they can use, even if they don't end up being an engineer or, an inventor or whatever.
Yep. It's mostly about how to work together.
Yeah. Yep. Which is a beautiful skill to learn if you want to survive and succeed in the workplace. So, so what is this then?
That is the Champions Award. And the Champions Award goes to the team, not the team that has the highest scoring robot. That team would get an award as well, but the Champions Award goes to the team that has the best all-around performance. So the robot has to do well, and they've got to demonstrate that they're a cohesive team. They've got to show that they did some nice, original, innovative solutions and presented that to their community leaders.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're,
That's really
it
cool.
takes a lot of work to go home with that trophy.
I bet.
Yeah.
So is there a new one every year? I mean, do they get to keep that trophy in their trophy case somewhere?
Yep.
That's so cool. Yep. That's really fun. So this is for the kids. You said 4th grade through 8th grade?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And then that's January 18th and 19th out at Hillsborough at Liberty High School, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to going to that.
Yep. And it's free and open to the public, so anybody can come on by.
And if somebody's interested in finding out more about Oregon Robotics Tournament Outreach Program, I had to think about that for a minute, then this would be a good place to find out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're happy to give you a tour, show you around, tell you a little bit about what's going on.
Okay. We don't have much time left, but what about then is there something going on in March too, you said?
That's right, yep. So the older students beginning, we have tournaments that'll be going right up through the end of March. And later in the year, we start getting into the high school robotics programs. So there's a lot of opportunities there to come by. I think the March event is our First Tech Challenge state championships.
Wow.
Yep.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. And I think really that's a great way to get kids hooked on science and math, really. I mean, what a perfect way to do it, because everybody loves Legos and robots. I mean,
it's a great way to get started.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Yep. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're out of time, but I'm really excited about this. I think it's a great opportunity. So if somebody wants to find out if there's a team in their area that they could join, or if they want to look into starting one, they can go to the website and get some more information
Absolutely.
there.
It takes a lot of volunteers. We don't reach all 7,000 ourselves.
Thank you for saying that, because I know that you have a great need for volunteers at this event on the 18th and 19th.
Both as coaches and mentors, or at the event.
At the event, which is coming up very soon. So if you have a little free time and can come out to Hillsborough on the 18th and 19th, it's free. And what I'm told is that there's not a requirement that you really know anything about robots or anything else. You just be a body out there and they could use you.
Yep.
And
you have to be able to have a good smile and have a good time. That's about it.
That sounds easy enough. I think there's, and people that just think that sounds like fun, all those robotic nerds out there. Let's see you there. Sounds good. Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate you coming out today. Thanks for watching Community Hotline. I think it was a fun show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here next week. I'm Monica Weitzel. Good night.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart, the The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels. A very special thanks to all our sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Every week on Community Hotline, we highlight the great work of local nonprofits in our area. And now you can also see us on our live Facebook feed, 7 p.m. every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So tune in and find out what's going on in your community.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
It is so important for me to have the right, be able to speak what I want to speak and talk about what I want to talk about.
If you start shutting this person up and shutting that person up and shutting this person up, that's not America.
I feel like everybody loves music. And for kids like us in Rockwood to have something like this, like the tools that you guys provide for us, I feel like it's really important because we can get our story out. We can tell about what we're going through in these streets and stuff.